the room. Then he began to weep loudly. His brothers stood there in shock. Long ago in the land of Canaan, there lived a young man named Joseph. He was one of the sons of Jacob, and his father loved him more than all his other sons. Because of this special love, Jacob made Joseph a beautiful robe of many colors. It was unlike any other robe, and everyone could see how much his father cherished him. But that gift stirred jealousy in the hearts of Joseph's brothers. Their jealousy grew even stronger when Joseph began sharing the dreams he received. In one dream, he saw bundles of grain belonging to his brothers bowing down before his own bundle. In another dream, the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed down before him. His brothers became angry. They did not understand that God was revealing part of his plan for Joseph's future. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers, who were tending their flocks far from home. When they saw him approaching in the distance, they began plotting against him. As soon as Joseph reached them, they seized him, stripped off his colorful robe, and threw him into a dry pit. Alone in the darkness, Joseph had no idea what would happen next. A short time later, a caravan of merchants passed by. Instead of killing him, his brothers sold him as a slave. Joseph was taken far away from his home and carried into Egypt. Yet even in a foreign land, God was with him. In Egypt, Joseph was placed in the house of Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's important officials. Everything Joseph did prospered because the Lord blessed him. Soon Potiphar trusted Joseph completely and placed him in charge of all his possessions. But one day, Joseph was falsely accused of a crime he did not commit. Though innocent, he was arrested and thrown into prison. Once again, his life seemed to be falling apart. From the pit to slavery, from slavery to prison. But even in prison, God did not abandon him. Joseph found favor with the prison warden and was given responsibility over the other prisoners. One day, 2 servants of Pharaoh were placed in prison with him. During the night, both men had troubling dreams. Through God's wisdom, Joseph interpreted their dreams. He told Pharaoh's cupbearer that he would be restored to his position. Joseph asked only one thing: "Remember me when you return to Pharaoh." Everything happened exactly as Joseph had said, but the cupbearer forgot him. 2 long years passed. Then one night, Pharaoh himself had 2 mysterious dreams. No one in all Egypt could explain their meaning. At that moment, the cupbearer finally remembered Joseph. Immediately, Joseph was brought out of prison and taken before Pharaoh. Pharaoh described his dreams. In the first dream, 7 healthy cows were swallowed by 7 thin and starving cows. In the second dream, 7 healthy heads of grain were consumed by 7 dry and withered heads. Through the wisdom God gave him, Joseph revealed the meaning. There would be 7 years of great abundance throughout Egypt. After that would come 7 years of severe famine. Joseph advised Pharaoh to store food during the years of plenty so the nation could survive the years of hunger. Pharaoh was deeply impressed by Joseph's wisdom. That very day, Joseph's life changed forever. He was taken from prison and appointed ruler over all Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself, and appointed ruler over all Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself. He received a royal ring. He was clothed in royal garments. He rode in Pharaoh's chariot. The young man who had once been a slave became one of the most powerful men in the world. During the 7 years of abundance, Joseph gathered enormous amounts of grain and stored them in great storehouses. Then the famine arrived. It spread across many lands. But because of Joseph's wisdom and God's guidance, Egypt had food. People came from many nations to buy grain. Among them were Joseph's own brothers. When they arrived in Egypt, they bowed before the ruler of the land without realizing who he was. At once, Joseph recognized them. But they did not recognize him. Joseph tested them to see whether their hearts had changed. He questioned them carefully. He kept Simeon in Egypt. Then he demanded that they bring their youngest brother, Benjamin. The brothers returned to Canaan and later came back with Benjamin. When Joseph saw Benjamin, his heart was deeply moved. Yet he continued the test. Finally, Judah stepped forward and pleaded for Benjamin's life. His words revealed that the brothers were no longer the same men they had once been. Joseph could hold back his emotions no longer. He ordered everyone else to leave the room. Then he began to weep loudly. His brothers stood there in shock. At last Joseph said, "I am Joseph, your brother, the one you sold into Egypt." Fear gripped their hearts, but Joseph did not seek revenge. Instead he said, "Do not be afraid or angry with yourselves because you sold me here. God sent me ahead of you to preserve many lives." Those words revealed a heart full of forgiveness, love, and faith in God. Joseph embraced his brothers. They wept together, and the family that had once been broken began to heal. Later, their father Jacob was brought to Egypt. After many years of separation, sorrow, and longing, Jacob and Joseph were reunited. They embraced one another with tears of joy. Joseph's journey had been filled with betrayal, slavery, hardship, and prison. Yet through every step, God was with him. The pit could not stop God's plan. Slavery could not destroy God's purpose. Prison could not imprison God's promises. What others intended for evil, God turned into good. The story of Joseph reminds us that even in our darkest moments, God is still at work. He can turn pain into victory. He can turn tears into joy. He can turn failure into testimony. And He can turn darkness into light. Because God never fails to fulfill His purpose for those who trust in Him. And that is the powerful story of Joseph. From the pit to the palace, by the grace and faithfulness of God.